Hey guys and gals, this is Cal from Dirty Weasel, and welcome back to the Skyrim Special Edition Modding Guide. You know, back in episode 6 of this series, we looked at the Skyrim skill uncapper that unlocked player and skill level caps for your characters, and also allowed you to fine-tune the progression of those skills through the use of a .ini file. At the time of that video, we had to utilize a .dll plugin loader to make things work. But with the maturation of SKSE64 that has its own built-in plugin loader, Cassant, the mod author, rewrote the mod to allow use of either SKSE64 or any of the older .dll plugin loaders. My recommendation is to use the SKSE process, and this video will focus on that method. At the time, I published my own .ini file that was designed and balanced for NI Scion's perk overhaul Ordinator. Now I have repackaged that file for use with SKSE64 installation, and it can be directly downloaded into the mod manager of your choice. With all those changes in mind, it was time to redo the video from start to finish, so let's get going. So here we are at the desktop and we're all ready to get started here. The first thing we'll do is we'll just go right to the internet and we'll take a look at the Skyrim skill uncapper. And you can see it is mod number 8889 and it was done by Cassant. And of course, it's had some few changes as the mods progress, and we've got SKSE64. When you scroll down, you look, this DLL plugin will unlock the skill level caps of 100 and makes relevant leveling tweaks. You can treat it as the same as the Skyrim community uncapper done by Alyss back in the Legendary Edition. Features include redefined skill level caps, redefined skill level formula caps, redefined skill XP gain mults, redefined PC level XP gain mults, etc. So that's a lot of stuff, and you can see the old video here, which I hope that Cassant will replace. And you can see and read through all this stuff, and you can understand that it will unlock the caps that make it at 100, and you can go way beyond that. And you can see all the features that you can redefine using the .ini file. Of course, the requirements for this is SKSE version whatever, SKSE64, or you can still use any of the older .dll loaders that are still out there if you're using them already. And of course, the ones that are available is Shadowman's .dll loader, the DLL plugin loader by MEH321, and the SSE plugin loader that is currently being maintained by the Caretaker. Installation on this, we'll go through that from start to finish, and you can see everything. And the credits, of course, you can read that. Now, the things we're most interested in are under the files. And right away at the main files, you see only one option is version 1.1. It hasn't changed that much, except that you can now use SKSE64 instead of the other DLL plugin loaders I just mentioned. Go ahead and download that with Manager, and you can see I've already done so here. This Skyrim Skill Uncapper version 1.1. I'm going to change over to my test profile because it just makes things a little easier for me to work on. And you can see we have basically not a whole lot of mods here, but just enough to test with. Now, on installation on this, it's actually fairly simple. Because it is an SKSE plugin, it's going to need to be at the top, but let's install it. Manual, Data, right-click on Data Directory and Set Data Directory, and you have SKSE, and that's simply all there is to it. You also have plugins, the Skyrim uncapper.dll. That looks good. Go ahead and leave it there and press OK. All SKSE plugins I recommend to be at the top, so just figure accordingly whatever your load order is. Since it doesn't have an ESP, it's going to be fairly priority insensitive, but I would definitely put it after things like Papyrus Util, SKSE64 ini, and of course after the SKSE64 scripts, whatever your version is. But basically, that's all there is to it. No plugins, nothing on this. It's just an SKSE plugin. And what is the first step? Well, the .ini file that you will be modifying is generated the first time you run the game. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I have SKSE open. Let's go ahead and run it. All right, here we are in the main menu, and because it is an SKSE plugin and we loaded the game using SKSE64, this is as far as you need to go. You can go ahead and just assume that it's going to do what it needs to do, and you can quit on out. You don't need to start a new game or load one in. And we're back to Mod Organizer, and you can see we already have something in our override. Let's go down and take a look at what that is. It is the SKSE plugins and the Skyrim uncapper.ini. Because this is a newly generated file, Mod Organizer didn't know what to do with it. So what do we do with this? We're going to close it down so I can actually work with it. we need to drop this into the Skyrim skill uncapper. There it is. So we can just drag it and drop it in. Go ahead and close it. Now, what did we get for that? Let's open it in Explorer. And you can see we have SKSE, plugins, the Skyrim Uncapper.dll. This is the one that actually runs things. And the brand new Skyrim Uncapper.ini. We're going to open this up with Notepad++. You can see is basically a very, very simple .ini file with a bunch of numbers. And you'll see they're all 100s. You expect if this is uncapping things, why doesn't it go over 100? And that's because this is set up for a vanilla profile. In other words, it doesn't actually make any changes. It allows you to make the changes. It is ready for you to use. All right, just keep that in mind whenever you see 100s and 1s. That means they are unmodified across the board. Well, there's a couple different things. You could either start making changes on your own, or you can use one that is pre-made. So we're going to go back to the internet and take a look at our first option. Of course, it's mine. Yay! It's the Skyrim Skill Uncapper.ini for Ordinator, and is mod number 11194. And you can see all the notes and things I put in here, how to install it, all that good stuff. And we can go to the files. There are 2 files on this. There is the Skyrim Skill Uncapper version 1.1 for Ordinator. And you can see it's a manual download only, and that means it's just going to be the .ini file. If you preview the file contents, you can see it's just the uncapper.ini in a 7-zip or WinRAR file format, and you can unpack it and do it as you see fit. The other one is for mod managers, and that's why it's version 1.1M. And you can see it's mod manager download or manual download, but there's no point to doing it. But this file is set up for SKSE64. When you preview the file contents, you will see it is now data SKSE, plugins, then the Skyrim Uncapper.ini. That means it can be directly loaded into your game through a mod manager without having to cut and paste things. What do I mean by that? Back into Mod Organizer. You can see I already have my own uncapper for the Ordinator, but we're also going to show you how to go ahead and use the WinRAR file if you download it manually. You can see it's open in WinRAR. If you look at it, it's just the Skyrim Uncapper.ini. Go ahead and drag it out and put it on your desktop. When you have Mod Organizer like this, and with the Skyrim Skill Uncapper, you would right-click, open Explorer, go to SKSE, plugins, the Skyrim Uncapper.ini, and you can simply drag and drop it in. It's going to tell you if you want to replace that file. And you can say, sure, why not? And we can see what we get. Open it once again with Notepad++. And you see it's vastly different. I've added a lot of notes on what everything does and why it works the way it does. So that's all the green sections right here in Notepad++. But you can see certain sections have a lot of modifiers to them. You can see you can have modifiers based off of character level for skill progression or skill level for skill progression. And these multipliers will change as you gain more skill, and perks that you receive per level will change depending on your skill level. So basically, that's how that works. You can either do it manually. We're going to assume that's the original one, and we can now go ahead and try to install it through Mod Organizer. And of course, I've already gotten the Mod Manager version. It is in Mod Organizer. You can see it's this one right here, Skyrim Skill Uncapper, and you have 2 options for doing so. You can go ahead and select Manual and see it's the Skyrim Skill Uncapper.ini for Ordinator, Manual. Right-click Set Data Directory, and you can see it's the same file format, SKSE, plugins, and the Skyrim Uncapper.ini. Go ahead and press OK. We're going to activate it, ignore the update because it's just red and annoying, and we're going to slide it up. And you would place it after the original Skyrim Skill Uncapper, and you can see it is overwriting something. And that's because it is now overwriting the file, the .ini file that was in the Skyrim Skill Uncapper. If you look at it, conflicts, it is the SKSE plugin Skyrim Uncapper.ini. And it worked just fine like that. It's overwriting that file, so you'll get all the benefits of doing that. So if you want to have more than one for different profiles, you can do that. And that way you have one that you would select across the board, and you would just go through and pick which one, depending on the profile that you have. I'm going to remove that. The other option is to merge that file in with the Skyrim Skill Uncapper. And this is the way I do it because I don't really change things a lot, but it's up to you on how you want to do things. So if you were to use my mod, double click, you're going to change the name from Skyrim Skill Uncapper.ini for Ordinator to just Skyrim Skill Uncapper, and you're going to select manual. Once again, set data directory SKC looks good. And this time we are merging it with the Skyrim Skill Uncapper merge. And you see it's now changed the file because now my 1.1 has already popped up. I'm just going to ignore the update. You can go in and change this later. But if you want to take a look at it, go to your file tree and you can see the dates modified, the times and whatever else, and you can see plugins. And the Skyrim Uncapper.ini is the one that was created by me. And you can see it was changed at a later time and date because this is the 8/21/17. This is mine. The original one was today's date and time. So you know it's been changed. Go ahead and close that down. And either one works fine. And now you can go ahead and go in and make changes if you want, or you can just use mine straight out. That in mind, let's talk about the other options that you have to go ahead and use things. Of course, you have mine, that is mod number 11194. You also have Uncapper presets for Skyrim Skill Uncapper, and this is mod number 16229, and it was done by Mr. Flames. And this one's interesting in as much as it has 8 different options that you can install via a faux mod. When you go to the files, preview file contents, you can see it's all set up for either the DLL plugin loaders using the MEH321's preset or the one for Shadowman. You can see the difference in the two there. And of course, it has the SKSE plugins. You just go through the faux mod and select the one that applies best to you. The other option is Adaptive Learning, mod number 17560, and it's done by Parapets. This one is set up for SKSE, and you can see the preview of the file contents, SKSE plugins, Skyrim Uncapper.ini. So that's another option for you if you want to go with an SKSE plugin. If you're using someone or MEH321's DLL plugin loader, you will have to cut and paste the files to make it work. The Hardcore Uncapper.ini for Ordinator Wildcat and other NiScion mods, when you look at the files, it is one file, preview the file contents. It is set up for someone's DLL plugin loader, but the .ini file you'd have to cut and paste if using another option. So there you have it, guys. It is the Skyrim Skill Uncapper and all the different ini files that you can get to make it work correctly, or you can go and change your own. Use the others as references and allow you to make your own edits and play with it. Just make sure you kind of read some of the warning signs. That's why I like mine, because I edit all the notes. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hate doing plugs, but here it is. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I have also started a Discord server where you can chat with me if you have questions or just want to say hi. You can also join me on my weekly Twitch streams where we do live modding and play games. Or even follow Dirty Weasel Media on Twitter. All the links are in the description of this video. My name's Cal, I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.